After totally failing her weight loss program while abusing her entire family, Dr. Now, and even abusing drugs along the way, Angie J is one of the most infamous stars of the show, known for her lazy attitude and disgusting behaviour towards everyone in her life.
So you want me to leave my boyfriend, move to Texas, and be okay with that?
Oh, here we go.
Right.
I can't rely on nobody, but everybody relies on me. I have marijuana in my system.
Don't play games with me. I know exactly what you have in your system. And it's not just that. There are multiple other narcotics we found.
I should have never came here.
To start with though, we meet Angie at her home in Ohio, with her weight unknown and her being pretty much bedbound.
The life I'm living right now is miserable because I have made myself a prisoner in a room inside of my home.
Now, a few years before her episode, Angie used to leave the house 1 to 2 times a week to run errands. But now, as her weight gain has dramatically increased to the point where she doesn't know how much she weighs, she hasn't left the house in years. The extreme weight gain has caused Angie to suffer severe leg pain, making walking long distances completely out of the question, as she can only walk around the house. Needing help for personal care and chores around the house, Angie's daughter Desiree does most of the work for her. Not only does her daughter help, but also the rest of the family who lives with her, including their young granddaughter.
Desiree is my caretaker. She's my right hand. She's my best friend. But I feel bad for her. I do. She's, not supposed to be in this role yet. They're supposed to take care of you when you get old. And I'm not that old, but I don't want my husband, Justin, to help me because I don't want him to cross over from being my husband to my caregiver. I don't want him to look at me differently because I feel ashamed of myself, of my body. My body looks like a nightmare, like a monster, something non-human. So I shower almost every day. Shower is exhausting. Washing in between my skin folds is hard because it's heavy. It's hard to get all the way in there, and it's a lot of lifting. It's overwhelming.
It's strange that Angie puts all of this pressure on her daughter to take care of her, just because she doesn't want her husband to see her and become her caretaker. Honestly, this is pretty selfish, as the pressure should be on Angie's husband to take care of her more than Desiree, given that he's the parent, and he's probably the one that's let her get to this point more than the daughter. But either way, no one should have to look after someone in such a state as Angie, given that the extreme morbid obesity is more than likely self-inflicted. Angie's size prevents Desiree, who's still a young woman in her 20s, from living a life of her own and spending it with her daughter Daisy.
I get very frustrated with my mother sometimes because I take care of my own 3-year-old at the same time. And it gets to be a bit much. But I would never turn my back on her. I will be here because I know that she needs me.
Sit on the sideline for everything. And by the time it's time to eat, I'm starving. I want to eat. Food is the only thing that helps me deal with the misery of my life. And I constantly need it because I constantly need to escape. So we have to keep a lot of food in the house at all times. And I have to have what I want.
Now, not only does Angie need to eat constantly, but she can't just have anything, and it needs to be exactly what she wants. Otherwise, she will start to kick off. She gives Desiree a shopping list pretty much every day because once she has a craving, she needs it there and she needs it now. Angie's brothers also stop by a few times a week to bring her takeaways, which they explain is because they don't have a lot of free time to spend with her and they like to show their affection through food. When food is tied too closely to emotions like this, it becomes really difficult to break the habit because in Angie's mind, if her family stops bringing her food, that means that they don't love her. So the cycle has to continue, with them just constantly bringing Angie more and more food. The worst part is that Angie probably has no idea how many calories she's really eaten, which has just allowed her weight gain to progressively get worse over time. Now, if Angie had used Cal.ai to track her meals, who are the sponsor of today's video, should have an accurate number of how many calories she was eating, and maybe even attempt to curb the weight gain. Now, if you don't know what Cal.ai is, it's an incredibly easy to use calorie tracking app which allows you to track calories by simply taking a picture of your food. Now this is perfect if, for example, you're out at a meal with friends and you simply can't weigh every ingredient that's on your dish. So Kalei has a genius feature where you take a picture, it scans what it sees with AI, and gives a surprisingly accurate reading of the calories and macronutrients within the meal. Obviously, it can't be 100% accurate all the time, which is why it allows you to edit and add ingredients that it missed. So no, you can't just hide something and pretend it doesn't exist because the camera didn't see it. It also has all the other features you'd expect from a calorie tracking app, like being able to individually log and weigh foods and scan the barcodes of your products. And remember, this is always the way I'd recommend because it's going to be the most accurate. The calorie scanner is there for ease, and when you can't weigh your food, remember to always weigh your food when you can and scan the barcodes of the food you're eating. And if you want to give Kalei a go yourself, click the link in my description and use code Craig for a 3-day free trial, so there's no risk and you can see how easy to use the app is. Thank you to Kalei for supporting the channel, and let's get back into Angie and see how she's developed this addictive personality. Her addictive personality runs in the family, as both her parents suffered with their own addictions, with her mother being an alcoholic and her dad being addicted to drugs. Their addictions meant that Angie was often abandoned and left to her own devices from a young age.
Because of my parents' alcohol, drug abuse, and neglect. They just weren't present.
To make matters worse, when Angie was just 8 years old, she was assaulted by a family member, and when she told her mother about it, she didn't believe her and did nothing to protect her. This traumatic event was a catalyst for Angie, as she remembers starting to eat a lot more from this point, using it as a way to cope with the abuse.
Food was a good comfort because it was always there, and it was something I could control. But everything else in my life was uncontrollable.
And this continued, and when Angie was just 13 years old, she weighed over 260 pounds. At the same age, Angie also shared that she was in a relationship with a 27-year-old man, which is an absolutely shocking and upsetting age difference. Now this is just downright disturbing and clearly wrong, and it's ridiculous that no one noticed and did anything to help Angie. She was literally just a child being taken advantage of by an older man. But it only gets worse from there, because during their relationship, Angie got pregnant and ended up giving her son TJ up for adoption when he was just 6 months old. Angie and her boyfriend finally split 6 months later after she could no longer handle the abuse, a decision that was obviously for the better. It's sad that no one helped her here, and she was left totally defenseless against people who just wanted to take advantage of her. Her parents were nowhere to be seen, so the only source of comfort Angie had was still food, which only escalated after the breakup. Now at 16 years old, Angie was over 300 pounds, well over double the healthy weight of a teenager. At the same time, Angie met her first husband, James, falling pregnant yet again a year later with Desiree, when she was just 17. Now much like her first relationship, the couple split due to abuse, and Angie ended up living back at her dad's house. And it only goes downhill even further from here, because a few months later, Angie was sent to jail after the charge of complicity to burglary, spending 8 months behind bars. After she was released from prison, Angie met her second husband and had her third child not long after, who she called Haley. But Angie couldn't stay out of prison for long, so she was sent back when Haley was 2 for violating her parole. Angie's children lived with her parents while she was in prison, eventually being released when she was 26. At this point, Angie was still gaining weight somehow and weighed over 420 pounds. And this is where her life really started to go downhill, because she became addicted to opioids. The next 10 years of Angie's life were just a total blur, and she eventually became immobile after an injury to her knee.
And then when I was 32 years old, I injured my knee, and it was the worst thing and the best thing that happened in my life. It was the best thing because I got sober, and it was the worst thing because I became immobile. I was drinking, and my leg hyperextended backwards, causing some damage to my knee. I was pulled out of a house on a tarp like I was an animal by firemen, paramedics, and anybody else that would help that wasn't drunk. When I arrived at the hospital, that's when I seen my weight for the first time in a few years, and it was 505 pounds.
The accident was a turning point for Angie, as she was finally able to get off the drugs, but she was still immobile and in a wheelchair, so she turned to food even more. That's probably one of the most insane backstories of a 600-pound life patient, and it really explains her behaviour as the episode goes on. Now, like I said previously, she doesn't know how much she weighs, but she thinks it's well above 600 pounds. The next biggest step towards changing her life would be to move to Houston to be close to Dr. Now for treatment, and Angie's current husband agrees to join in the relocation. However, her daughter Desiree isn't too sure, and this is because it's just a really tough ask, as she has to take care of her 3-year-old daughter, and she's got a boyfriend of her own up here too.
Justin said he'd do it for me. The only one who isn't sure yet is Desiree. Mostly because her boyfriend Will doesn't want to do it. But I have to keep pushing it with her because I have to have an answer. So when she gets done with errands and getting the groceries, I'm going to try to talk to her again. Because there's no more time for her to stay on the fence about it. Then honestly, I think siding with her mother and saving me would be the obvious choice.
It's absolutely insane that Angie thinks that Desiree should just pick her instead of her family and younger daughter, especially as we know that Angie chose drugs over her own daughter for over 10 years. When Angie confronts Desiree, the situation quickly spirals.
So I need to know if you're on board with going to Houston, because your boyfriend is giving me about it.
What'd he do?
So I think that he's mad from the other day when there was a conversation that if I was to look for a doctor in another area, he insinuated he didn't even want to come to Houston so I can get the help I need. So all I said was, how about get a life? And he jumps up, runs his mouth, comes out, says, I'm a... You think that's normal? And I said, why don't you get a life?
He said, we're all doing this for you.
And we're all doing this for you, Angela. So he's not gonna be living here.
So you want me to leave my boyfriend, move to Texas, and be okay with that?
Oh, here we go. Dramas.
Right. I mean, how am I being
But your
dramatic?
boyfriend's not gonna be dramatic and call me a...
That night, I haven't even got time to address anything.
Yeah, this is what I knew was gonna happen.
I'm not time to
I am
address
tired of
anything.
every single time a little thing is said around here, your dramatic boyfriend gets escalated to up here.
So then
This
I'm
little
in the,
words-
I'm in the position to pick between my
That shouldn't be
mother or my boyfriend and my child.
No, your child would still be here without
I
your
mean,
boyfriend, just
it's
like the
not
other
even-
one
that's-
was.
That's not right.
Well, you do whatever you
Especially
want to
when
do.
you know that I'm gonna pick you.
Okay. It's never about me. It's never been about me. Ever. You guys have lived with me forever. I take care of you. I ask for one thing. One thing.
It's not my fault. Will
And
said
it
some
can't
stupid-
be something simple. I can't rely
Okay.
on nobody, but everybody
I'm not
relies on
saying
me.
I'm not
I'm
going.
tired. I'm tired.
I'm not saying
I knew
I'm
this
not
was
going.
stupid.
I've been on board since day one.
Yeah. So you were on board before too, and because of Daisy, you didn't go.
And now I don't
And now
have a
here we
reason
are
to be
again.
here.
Except for you're knocked up again.
Yeah.
Angie is 100% gaslighting Desiree here, making her feel guilty and downplaying the severity of literally moving across the country. She's acting like it's not even a big decision either, even suggesting that Desiree leave her 3-year-old daughter behind to go live with her, and even claiming that no one does anything for her is just insane. We've just watched Desiree bath her, go to the shop for her, clean and cook for her, and Angie is just completely ungrateful. She's completely unaware of just how much everyone does for her, claiming that she could be doing way more than she already is. And honestly, this is totally disgusting, and I'm confident that Angie is probably one of the worst parents on the show because of this. Angie piles on the stress of the situation too, saying that if Desiree won't help her, she had no other choice than just sit there and wait to die.
I've decided to try to get help, and I want my family and me to move to Houston so I can do that by seeing Dr. Now and trying to get weight loss surgery. But I can't believe I'm having to fight my own daughter to support me and do this to help save my life. I even have to ask her to choose between what her boyfriend wants and what her mother needs to live. She's gonna cost me my life.
Now the pressure of this situation is extreme, and I do feel bad for Desiree being pushed into this situation. And when Desiree tries to rectify the situation, Angie is completely unsympathetic towards her own daughter, and this scene is pretty difficult to watch.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that I'm choosing him over you. I'm saying I'm choosing you over him, and it hurts me. It's not supposed to hurt me. That's like me saying it's me or Justin.
And I wouldn't even drop a tear for that decision.
Once things cool down, they come to an agreement that they will come down to Houston with Angie for her first appointment, then decide if they'll move down afterwards. But the drive to Houston is over 20 hours, which means they have to drive over 4 days to get there. And they don't make it very far before Angie's already wanting to go through the drive-thru.
Can I help you?
I want a sandwich with cheese minus onion, extra pickles,
Fine.
and then a regular chicken. and 3 fries.
All right, it's a good one now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Aggravated, and I'm starving.
Just
Why don't you learn how to drive or something, guy? Hope my next husband knows how to drive better. Desiree doesn't think Justin's good for me. She doesn't think he's good enough. She thinks he uses me. I don't know what he's using me for, but I don't know. We have some issues that need to be taken care of. Justin, go in to find out where our room is.
Hey, whose name is it under?
It's on yours. Didn't I just say that? Take your ID and go.
No, you didn't say that.
It's kind of a hard time to focus on our marriage when I'm trying to focus on me. So I've been focusing on everybody else for a long time. It's kind of the reason that I am the weight that I am. I've always let people dump on me for years. Now I'm just like, no. And I want to work on me. If he's there at the end, he's there. If not, I don't know.
I can't believe that Angie seriously believes that she spent years taking care of anyone but herself, when she literally left her kids with her parents while she was in jail for 10 years. And then having her own daughter become her personal caretaker for years, having to sacrifice her own relationship and childhood for her mother. The way that she speaks to people is just disgusting and totally unfair to those around her.
So, plan. Well, me and Desiree already kind of have a little bit of a plan. I'm gonna find out a store for you. You can go to the store.
Well, you better make sure it's close to here, because I'm not getting lost in here. And I ain't seen nothing close.
Okay. First of all, you can quit cussing at me. That's where we can start at. You can quit cussing at me. Secondly, I'm gonna Google for a store, and you're gonna go to the store.
If it's not close, I'm not going.
What are we supposed to eat?
What
are
store
you,
so I can
Einstein?
see how far it is and where I gotta go.
No, it's your point of your attitude. You've had an attitude since we left home, and you can go back home and I have my brother come here. Believe that.
Ain't nobody had to.
And get your and go to your mama's house, because I'm sick of your attitude. I don't want you and I don't need you.
It seems like her demands just have no end. Her partner's just driven non-stop for about 6 hours and just wants to rest. But she's demanding that he goes to the shop and get food for her. And it just seems like nothing that anyone could ever do would ever be enough.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it.
Knew what was gonna happen though.
You're pathetic.
Because I don't want to drive to a store that I don't. I'm in a city I don't know about. You want me to drive around to stores, but that's pathetic because I don't want to get lost.
Loser. You shouldn't even be around me anyways. That's all you are. Is a loser. You freaking put on a show for people.
Yeah,
you're fake as
in my mouth. No, you are.
No, you're a fake piece of.
Because I don't want to go to a store that I don't know about.
Whatever. I don't know where you're going, but you're getting up out of this room.
This room's in my name.
That'll be changed real quick, guy. There's something going on, something more. I don't know what it is. I think he's having dope fits, if you ask me. My daughter's the one that assists me through everything. He doesn't do anything. I don't know, he's just there. That's my support group, my daughter. He's just convenient right now because he's driving. He's not my support group. I'm going forward with or without him, and he knows that. Whether we get a divorce, whether we split up, he doesn't really have much choice.
Angie complains about how her husband hardly helps with any of her care. Yet earlier in the episode, she said that she doesn't want him to help with it because she doesn't want it to ruin their marriage. It's literally like she wants to have her cake and eat it too, which I'm sure she's had a lot of. But Angie places the entirety of the responsibility on Desiree, who's already struggling with the workload. Eventually, Angie arrives at Dr. Now's office and prepares for her first weigh-in.
If I'm 600 pounds, I'd probably be very upset because I've never seen that number before.
From what we've seen of Angie so far, she's definitely one to lie and make excuses, but Dr. Now is not having any of it.
Well, if you figure that then, what's holding you up so far to lose weight?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like if I can't move, I can't lose weight.
No, that's completely inaccurate. The reason you're overweight is you eat too much. So what is going on with your eating habit? Because in order for you to maintain your weight at 643 pounds, you're eating at least 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day. And if you're gaining, it's even more than that.
Okay.
Okay. So what is driving you to eat like that? Are you hungry? Is it habit, stress?
I think I eat when I'm bored.
When delving deeper into why Angie is the size that she is, Angie strongly believes that it's not just the amount of food that she's eaten, but rather the context, like the time of day that she's eaten. She also doesn't think that her eating habits have anything to do with her emotions, which is a pretty bad sign. as she's not even aware that this could be a cause. Pretty much everyone on the show has some sort of psychological issue around eating, whether it be things like addiction or stress or trauma, and so the fact that Angie hasn't even had to this point of realization yet is concerning.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an emotional eater, because I don't think that I am. I eat at bad times. I don't eat during the morning and afternoon because I drink coffee, which suppresses my appetite. I eat at night, and then I go to bed. I eat a lot at night because I'm hungry from not eating all day, and then I overeat.
The only accurate thing you said was that you eat a lot. But what you're leaving out is that it's all day long. So don't try to convince me you're just eating once a day, because I'm not buying it.
Now, the actual amount of food that Angie would have to consume in this one sitting for her to gain weight like she has would be ridiculous, and it would probably be more than about 40 cheeseburgers, and I don't even think that's possible. But the fact is, she's lying, and I don't know why either, because it's literally obvious as she's almost 650 pounds at this point. And to make matters worse, she puts part of the blame on Desiree, even mocking her in front of Dr. Now and trying to embarrass her.
All right.
She eats the same food as me, so I'm worried. I tell her all the time, when you get to this age, it's harder to lose weight, and you're a lot more things are gonna happen, because I was her weight when I was actually a little lighter than her when I was her age, to be honest. And it's here now. I tell her all the time, it's gonna happen if it doesn't change. And she's pregnant, so it's gonna make her weight gain even worse. And on top of that, she smokes too.
We all smoke.
Pregnant lady doesn't smoke as much as pregnant lady
This is the most dangerous thing for the child.
I know.
Mother smoking. You have to stop that immediately. Do you got that?
All right.
Good.
Now, for some strange reason, Angie starts calling Desiree out for her weight problem and the fact that she smokes. And while it's obviously completely wrong that she's smoking while she's pregnant, there's no need to start throwing shade at her own daughter and just try to deflect from her situation. The face that she does too when she starts going off on one at Desiree is literally just mean. She's her mother and should be trying to build her up, not tear her down like this. Especially as Desiree is doing everything she can to support her mother. And then Angie's husband, Justin, gets thrown into the mix, and Dr. Now questions his eating habits and involvement.
So let's talk about his eating habit.
He eats more than both of us.
He eats more than both of you.
Absolutely.
That's physically impossible. So we got some serious issues with delusion with you all. All right.
This man definitely eats more than I do.
Probably
he has a high metabolism.
8 to 10,000 calories a day.
Angie, you can lie all you want, but this is all science and math. And it's a big part of the problem we're facing here is that you seem like a master manipulator who thinks she can just decide what the facts are she wants to believe and just tell everyone else what to think. So if you're here to just play games, then this is not going to end well for you because you realize that this is a dangerous situation when you're 39 and you are 643 pounds.
Now, if Angie can't even admit where she's going wrong, how is she supposed to get any better? She's literally living on borrowed time, fast approaching 40 with extreme morbid obesity, and it's unlikely she'll live much longer. She's not even taking it seriously to begin with, and I honestly don't have much hope for the rest of the episode. One of the most important things that Angie will have to do if she wants to be in Dr. Now's program is move down to Houston, and she can't do that by herself. Angie and Desiree have argued about the topic at length for a while, and Angie brings it up again, telling Desiree that they can live in a one-bedroom apartment, forcing Desiree, her boyfriend Will, and her 2 children, when her baby is born, to live in a tiny room together. And this only makes things way more complicated when Angie and Justin split up.
About a week ago, we got into an argument. He was under the influence, as usual, and he packed his things up and left. It was a stupid fight he created because he didn't want to go to Texas. And the whole time, he knew he didn't want to go. But he never said that.
Justin breaking up with Angie because he doesn't want to move across the country is pretty fair, to be honest. Like, he shouldn't have to if he doesn't want to. But it's Angie's failure to understand how difficult this move is for the family that is the most frustrating. And as you'd expect, Angie is turning to food to cope, even though she's convinced that she doesn't eat her emotions. But her small treats to keep the pain at bay eventually slip into going completely off the diet and settling back into her old ways. Angie misses her follow-up appointments with Dr. Now, finally calling him 3 months after she first met with him.
I think that I'm doing okay, except I'm still drinking pop here and there.
But that's unacceptable. If you want to change your life, you're going to have to stick with the diet. Don't be wishy-washy about it. If you're wishy-washy about it, stay where you are. Don't come to Houston.
Okay.
Because playing games with me isn't going to work. But if you're serious about it, change your life, and stick with it, okay?
I want to, but it's just been hard because me and my husband separated after we left your office. He doesn't want to move to Texas, so he put me in a little bit of a financial issue, but I'm trying.
Well, not like you should. So you need to decide what the best course of action and option is best for you.
Wow, my best option would be to come to Houston. It's my last option. It's my only option to change my life.
But you're doing nothing to make that happen. Just give me excuses. Okay, so what you can do to make that happen?
I'm trying really hard to find a place.
But you're not losing weight. If you don't change that, there is no point in coming here. You get that?
Okay.
She tries to make it out like she needs to go to Houston to start the program, but she doesn't realize that she should already be on it. She should be losing weight. Over 50 pounds so far if she'd stuck to the diet. But it's just one excuse after another for her. Dr. Now gives her another chance on losing 100 pounds in 2 months and to sort out her living situation. But Angie just doesn't believe that she can do this, saying that she has too much pressure. Now, I'm not being funny, but what pressure does she even have? She doesn't have a job, she gets everything looked after, and she gets a pretty decent income from her disability payment.
I think doubling my goal is just punishment because I missed my appointment. If I lose 50 pounds, then that should be more than enough to get weight loss surgery. And if I could just lose all this weight, I wouldn't need his help. Now, would I?
I'm not even sure what she means by this. Like, yeah, obviously you wouldn't need this help if you were a healthy weight, because he's a weight loss professional. And in a surprising turn of events, Justin comes back into the picture and decides he wants to be with Angie for the rest of his life. Something I really did not see coming. Because if I was Justin, I would have just gone and never looked back.
I love my wife and I want to go to Texas with her, and I want to see her get better so she can have a life and we can have a life together.
Yeah.
But with Justin back, maybe things will turn around for Angie and she won't stress eat so much, and she may be able to move to Houston. But the move is dependent on Angie losing 100 pounds. And 3 months later, Dr. Now asks her to travel to a local clinic to get her weight checked, to see if she's actually been following the diet.
He doesn't know what he's talking about when he says, I'm just making excuses. So as long as I hit the first goal of losing 50 pounds, I think I'm good. And if I did that, I'd be 593. And I'm pretty sure I did that.
Oh. You good? I'm good. I'm clear.
I'm getting off this thing.
Do you need some water, Angie?
Yeah. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm only 45 pounds.
That's close. Don't beat yourself up for that.
And Angie lost less than half the weight she was supposed to. Just seconds before her weigh-in, she was super confident about her loss, but reality sets in, and Angie is thoroughly disappointed. And when she calls Dr. Now to break the news, he's less than impressed.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, so, did you check your weight?
Yes.
And how much you ate now?
I'm down to 598.6, and I'm proud of that.
So it looked like you almost lost 50 pounds, huh?
Yes.
All right, that's a little progress, but you're supposed to lose 100 pounds in 2 months, and on top of that, it's been 5 months since you were here. So at this point, you haven't shown me you're taking this seriously as you need. And I'm not approving you for anything today, but since you lost 50 pounds, we give you another chance to stick with your diet and try to lose another 50 pounds, okay?
But Angie doesn't want to take criticism from anyone, so she claps back with an insane allegation.
And let me remind you, because maybe you forgot, your weight loss was 50 pounds in 1 month, not 100 pounds. Ever did you say that to me?
I definitely did. On my call with you 2 months ago, that was the goal I gave you. So either you forgot or you're too high on something to remember. But it's going on 6 months since we saw you. And this level of weight loss is unacceptable over that time. Losing less than 10 pounds a month is not going to be enough to save your life.
Okay. Well, if you expected me to lose 50 pounds every month for 6 months, I wouldn't need you.
What you seem to need is a calculator. Because losing 50 pounds a month for 6 months would have been weight loss goal of 300 pounds. And that's not what I asked you to do. But I did give you a goal of 100 pounds in 2 months, since you wasted the first 3 months and you didn't even do that. So you can either give me more attitude or figure out whether you want to do this or not. Because if you don't, you're not going to be alive for much longer.
Okay. If you're expecting me to come there and sit around and wait for surgery for another month, I'm not coming. I don't have time for that.
Heaven forbid we waste any of your time while you waste ours with your lies and games. Angie, you decide if you want to do this or not. But if you do, then I will give you 2 more months to lose 100 pounds. And this time I suggest you write it down so you remember that. Otherwise, just stay up there and do whatever you want. And you don't need to come back down here.
And she's conveniently forgetting the plan to lose 100 pounds. One of the reasons she could have forgotten it is because she's actually been taking drugs for weeks. Dr. Now notices that she's acting a little bit strange on the call and asks if she's been using. Angie is immediately combative, saying that the allegation is insane, but she actually really does look like she could be on some sort of drug.
Since you're making accusations of what's wrong with me, I'm sick. I puked on myself, slept all day yesterday. I'm ill. I don't take anything but what's prescribed to me. So please don't make accusations, okay?
I'm a doctor, Angie. I know the difference between sick and high. And if you decide to continue and come back down here, I'm going to run toxicology on you to make sure there is nothing in your system that shouldn't be there. So you can either clean up your act right now, or we don't need to bother playing any more games with you. So when you decide, you just let us know your plan, okay?
My plan is to go home and go to bed. What's yours?
Well, my plan right now is to end this conversation. So you have a good day, Angie.
Fans of the show love Dr. Now's stance on this too, and his no BS attitude with Angie. My plan is to go home and go to bed. What's yours? Well, my plan right now is to end this conversation. I screamed so loud at that line. Dr. Now's zingers this episode are making my night. Hands down the worst. What an insufferable human. Angie continues to be an absolute insufferable human too, when she moves into her new apartment a few weeks later, with the help of Justin and her family taking her down, where she proceeds to act completely selfishly and ungrateful.
I hate this life, seriously. I'm very unhappy.
I'm sorry.
Just left a beautiful, beautiful place for this job.
No, you left this for Dr. Now. And we're here right now. So come on, let's go see your house right now.
One of her family members makes an excellent point. She's here in Houston to save her life, because if she doesn't, she'll die. She complained for months to her entire family that they weren't supporting her enough in the move, and when they finally did, she couldn't be more ungrateful about it. When Angie steps foot in the apartment, she immediately hates it and starts blaming everyone around her.
Okay. There you go. Doesn't have the fireplace wall that I seen in the picture, so this is not the apartment I picked out. So that was a lie. I can't believe this. This is not the unit that we rented, and it's not gonna work. I'm pissed off. I feel like I've been lied to, and we have serious, serious problems right now. Because there's no way I'm living here. This bathroom joke. Look at the bathroom door. Are you kidding me? No way. This bathroom is completely unacceptable and nowhere near what I need. There's no way I can fit in it. I didn't come all this way to be thrown in some dump. I knew I shouldn't have came here. This place is nothing like it was described, and this is completely unacceptable.
To be honest, the apartment doesn't look too bad. It's really clean, it looks like it's been freshly painted with new floors. I don't really see what Angie's complaining about. I get the complaint about her not fitting in the bathroom, but that's not really the bathroom's fault. The thing is, Angie forgets that her life is at risk. All she has to do is live here, in this pretty nice apartment, for a year to do the program with Dr. Now. She complained so much for her family to bring her here, and when they finally did, she isn't happy. If I was her family, I would honestly be tempted to leave her there.
It looks like our only option is to sleep in a hotel tonight, because we're not moving in here. So all I know is someone better fix it, and fix it fast. And if not, then we may have no other option than going back to Ohio and missing a chance to save my life all because I was lied to. And that's like murder as far as I'm concerned.
Viewers of the show can't believe how insane this comment from Angie is about murder. Today I learned a misrepresented apartment should be viewed as attempted murder. Not even sure what she means or if she was even lied to. The apartment is pretty decent and there's no reason she should have to stay in a hotel. Another commenter makes a fantastic point too. If this woman ever tried to change a light bulb, she'd hold it in place and expect the world to spin around her. Angie clearly expects everyone to sort her life around her and she won't do anything for herself. But even when they do help her, she's just completely ungrateful about it. When the building manager finds her a new apartment, she's combative from the outside too, complaining about every single thing.
Do you want to use your walker to take us to that or my hands?
If I fall going in here, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I mean, they can put a ramp in. We'll get a ramp in if we need to.
Well, let's do this.
Let's see if you can do it.
I don't know why, but I'm afraid of this. Amanda, can you just be behind me and like push me here or something?
I got you.
Okay. 1, 2. Oh.
I got
you. Oh, my hands are shaking though. Give me my walker.
Oh, sorry, man. I was just gonna walk you forward so
it smells like lemon in here.
Being that dramatic over a tiny little step is just insane. She knows she won't struggle going over it, but just uses it as something to complain about. But it doesn't stop there, as Angie still won't sit in the new bathroom. But thankfully for her, the manager agrees to widen the door for her. As her family move all of the things in, Angie reflects on the journey ahead with Dr. Now.
I've lost the 50 pounds he asked me to lose already. So we should be moving on to some medical stuff and getting ready to do surgery. I'm not worried. I mean, I did what I was supposed to do. So if he tries to run me around and give me more goals and avoid giving me what I deserve then I'm really gonna out.
I'm curious to know what Angie thinks she deserves because she hasn't earned anything from Dr. Now yet at all. All she's done is lose 50 pounds in over the triple amount of time that he asked for. For the next appointment, Angie will have had to lose 100 pounds to get to the next stage of the program. And as she pulls up, we're about to see the proof on the scales. And you can probably guess where this is going.
I got down to 598, and Dr. Now told me I had to lose 100 pounds this time, even though I already lost almost 50 pounds already. So he expects me to be below 498 today. But if I could easily lose 100 pounds on my own, I wouldn't have any need for him or surgery. So it doesn't matter to me what the scale says, because I know how hard I'm working. And that I've already lost enough to prove I'm ready for surgery. Well, I'm still making progress.
And that was pretty satisfying, to watch Angie make an entire speech about how well she's doing, only to lose 9 pounds instead of 100, which isn't even 10% of the goal. But luckily, according to Angie, it's the scales that are wrong, not her. Dr. Now, however, won't stand for any excuses.
In the past 2 months, you lost almost nothing, just 9 pounds. So you want to explain to me why that is?
I'm going through a lot of changes right now. Bear with that.
Okay. You done with your little tantrum and finished talking?
Sure.
All right. At your current rate, you're going to be dead in a year or less.
Angie goes into the apartment with such an attitude, constantly rolling her eyes at Dr. Now and being really snappy. It's clear she doesn't want to be there, and it makes you think, what's the point of even turning up? In her current position, Angie won't live longer than a year, so she really has to decide if she's committed enough. As she's moved to Houston, Dr. Now gives Angie yet another chance to lose 100 pounds over the next 2 months. And if she doesn't, she won't be able to continue the program, and will have to move back to Ohio.
Dr. Now says if I stick to his diet completely, I'll lose the weight he wants me to lose. But I already was. And what I lost wasn't enough for him. So the only thing I could think of to do better is to barely eat and only eat salads and starve myself. So if I don't get approved this next time, that will mean Dr. Now is giving me a death sentence. Because without surgery, I'm not going to survive for long. And if Dr. Now can live with that on his conscience, then he's not who I thought he was. And I don't deserve this abuse.
Angie is so entitled that it genuinely makes the scene hard to watch. She thinks surgery will cure her, not realizing that she'll have to try to diet just as hard once she has the surgery too. Now, if you can remember her last appointment over the phone, Dr. Now suspected that Angie was on drugs, so while she was there, he did a toxicology test on her to see if she was telling the truth about being clean.
But some of her interaction with me have me concerned that she's under influence of something she's not telling me about. So we're gonna do a toxicology to try and determine what's going on and if there's a trace of anything that we need to be concerned about in her system.
And 2 weeks later, Dr. Now calls Angie back to the office to discuss her results. And while she's there, she gets weighed to make sure she's still on track.
I don't know why I'm here earlier, but I'm worried it's not gonna be good. It's only been 2 weeks, and I was down to 589, and I'm probably only a little less than that because I haven't been given hardly any time to lose more.
So she's gained 5 pounds, when at this point she should have lost 25. Which is a great start for Angie. And if it wasn't obvious before, it certainly is now. Angie is on drugs. She seems very fidgety, her pupils are dilated, and she's even more erratic than normal.
I'm practically starving myself to death, so there's no way I could have gained. And I'm confused how that happened.
But Dr. Now is about to go in on Angie because he's reached his limit with her constant complaining and lack of effort.
Okay, well, I think you know why you're here. First, you haven't shown much effort up to this point. Even now, you're not on track because in the 2 weeks since I saw you, if you were doing the diet, you would have lost at least 1.5 pounds. Instead, you gained 5 pounds in that time. So you're still not making progress.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Don't give me your tears, because in almost 9 months, we've given you every chance to do this, but you're just giving me attitude.
I'm not making any excuses. I have nothing, but I do have something to come clean about.
You know I already know what you're going to tell me. And that's why I called you early, because we got your toxicology back. Am I right?
I don't. I don't know.
All right. Well, don't play this game where you're going to be honest with me now. The time to do that has passed because you have been keeping a number of things from me that are affecting your health significantly. To start, we can see that you're a heavy smoker and you've been hiding that from me.
I didn't tell you that because I had quit. Then I get on the road and I freak out and I just...
What does that mean? You freak out and you smoke?
Yep.
Well, that alone in your condition is causing severe damage to your pulmonary system and causing other health issues for you too that are all decreasing your lifespan right now. And that's not the biggest issue because we also found narcotics. But you know that already, didn't you?
I know. I have marijuana in my system.
Don't play games with me. I know exactly what you have in your system. And it's not just that. There are multiple other narcotics we found. So don't think you can do this, coming clean game, and deny the rest. So this is an extremely serious situation. You can't play games to get out of.
Because of her drug use, Dr. Now knows that Angie will have absolutely no chance of losing the weight as long as she's continuing to use. Weight loss surgery is now just completely off the table, and Angie must go back to rehab if she wants to stay on the program. He gives Angie 24 hours to decide if she wants to go to rehab to save her life, and it's not really surprising that she finds yet another excuse as to why Dr. Now is wrong.
I don't even know what to say because I've never been mistreated like this in my whole life. It's extremely offensive and utterly unfair. I don't care what any of the reports say. Dr. Now is wrong. And at this point, I feel like I've been nice. And I lost weight, a lot of weight. And I don't need to put up with this anymore. So I'm done.
Throughout this entire episode, Angie has expected everyone to lose the weight for her, assuming she deserved the world despite never doing anything for anyone. She was now a terrible mother, constantly gaslighting her daughters and the rest of her family, and honestly, just abusing everyone around her. Angie finally drops out the weight loss program, which is probably to Dr. Now's delight. However, to everyone's amazement, she actually ended up losing 300 pounds in her Where Are They Now episode. And if you'd like me to cover this, let me know in the comments. Make sure you follow my Instagram at BigCraigYT, subscribe so you don't miss a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.